Cause if you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
All right.
Just out for me. Tell me why. Why tonight? You broke my heart for a thrill. You knew your love wasn't real. Tell me why. Why tonight?
All right, let's get those likes up, people. Come on, let's act like we've been here before. My apologies. I've been out for a couple of days. I probably shouldn't even be doing this right now, but I really fucking miss you guys. So let me start out by saying this, right? I had a hernia, and that shit hurts like a bitch. I had a procedure done on Wednesday, and I've been in a good deal of pain, at least until yesterday. I started feeling a lot better by yesterday, but yeah, having that hernia thing patched up wasn't the most fun I've ever had in life. Let's put it that way. So, and then, you know, so crazy. So if you don't know, a hernia is like when you kind of have, I'm going to be really vulgar. So part of my intestine was spilling out into another part of my body, and it was creating a little bit of a lump, a bulge there. And so basically what they do is like a fix-a-flat. They literally patch me up like a flat tire. They put a little plug in there, glue it all back together, put some gas in my tank, and put me back on the road. It was an experience, I gotta tell you. It was a hell of an experience. But now that that's done, and I've had a couple of days of laying up and not doing much of anything, I'm almost ready to get back onto the mic. Because I gotta tell you, for a minute there, it even hurt to talk. Like, not talking, but like, because even when you talk, you kind of flexing your midsection slightly. And if you get a little bit excited, if you laugh too hard, if you speak too loud, it kind of flexes and vibrates things that don't need to be flexed and vibrated at the moment. So I was I was on the disabled list. I was very disabled. I'm going to be taking some time off for work. Go get on some government disability. Gonna be laid out for a while, but I really had to get back on the mic. Too much news was happening and I wasn't talking about it. Way too much news was happening and I just could not drag myself out of bed and get in front of the mic. Even now, sitting down in this chair, I might have to change my setup. I might have to do this show standing up. I think I might have to switch things around. I need one of those vertical standing desks now. I need one of those standing desks that snobby corporate types be using. But we got a couple of things I did want to talk to you guys about. This whole immigration thing is kind of heating up. We're passing the SAVE Act, which is apparently racist against Black people. And we're also giving white people the N-word pass, which is somehow not racist against Black people. I'm really confused about how things have turned out in the last couple of weeks. You see, you get sick, you go on the injured list, and everybody gets all weird. I don't know what happened to people. I'm just trying to keep up. But anyway, like I said, I really had to get back to this. I can't just lay around for days and days and days doing nothing. It's just not in me. Just not built like that. You see the way I'm set up internally, I only get a couple days off and then I got to get back at it. Like the video, guys.
Country right now.
You won the election because of minority voters. Does this post maybe hurt Republicans with, Black voters after the
I think look, we did criminal justice reform. I did the historically Black colleges and universities. I got them funded. Nobody has been, and that's why I got the highest vote with male Black voters that they've seen in many, many decades. I've done great with the Black voters. Have been great to me. I've been great to them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. And I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned. We have, I've had a great relation. Think of what I've done.
You know the funny thing? When Trump says he's the least racist president, what he's saying is that on a scale of 1 to 10, he's not 0, but he's not 10, he's not a 9, he's not even an 8 or a 7, but he's not a 0, which is respectable.
Criminal justice reform.
Every man should have a slight amount of racism in his heart. If you have balls, you should have a little bit of racism in you. I'm just saying, that's what your balls produce, testosterone and racism.
Nobody else could do it. Obama couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Clinton couldn't do it. They actually went the other way. They went into a very bad thing for African-American people, Black people. They did very bad things. I did very good things. But criminal justice reform, and then I funded the universities, which nobody else was willing to do. They were going every year. They'd come back to Washington and they'd be begging for money, begging. I got to be friendly with some of the heads of the schools, and they would come back and they would literally tell me they're forcing us to beg. I'm the one that got them long-term financing and more than they were looking for. So there's nobody that's done more. And I think maybe more than anything else was criminal justice reform. They've been trying to get it for years, and I'm the one that got it done. So nobody can tell me about that. That somebody posts a staffer, post, and I knew it was all about. If you take a look at that and see the whole thing, it was a small section at the very end, but that was about fraudulent elections, which we have a lot of them. We're going to get it stopped, and I liked the beginning. I saw it and just passed it on, and I guess probably nobody reviewed the end of it because what I saw at the beginning was really, really strong. It was about fraudulent elections, and anytime I see that stuff and when it's credible, you put it up. But somebody slipped and missed a very small part. Now, by the way, again, the takeoff one, I guess, I didn't do it, by the way. This was done by somebody else. This was a retruth. That was not done by us. But that was a very strong truth. It was a very strong statement made about the fraudulent elections in a certain part of our country, which are really bad.
All this polling on the screen going back since 2018. You'll notice on all of it, it's all north of 75%, 76%, 76%, 76%, 81%, and then 83% in the last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote.
What about by party? What's the party breakdown?
Yeah, normally you might expect, hey, there'd be a big divide by party with Republicans really for it and Democrats really against it. But not really here. I mean, just take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. You got 95% of Republicans, pretty much all of them, but even 71% of Democrats favor photo ID to vote. So again, Nicki Minaj posting that on X, and what you see is that the American people, actually, it's not really all that controversial. The American people are with Nicki Minaj, whether they are Republican or even if they are Democrats. We're talking about 7 in 10 Democrats agreeing with Nicki Minaj that you, in fact, should show a voter photo ID to vote.
What's the racial breakdown?
Okay, what's the racial breakdown on this, right? Because I think a lot of people make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
So something of a non-controversy, in other words.
Very good. The alliteration of Mr. John Berman, that Harvard education, paying off once again.
Harold, and thank you very much.
Why are you dressed like that?
I was trying to get to the DMV, and I was dressed like this because us oppressed.
Wait. What? What do you mean? It's 2020, and it's the weekend. The DMV isn't open, Mom.
I know, but I got to travel by foot all night, and I can't get caught by the white man trying to get no ID.
What? What are you talking about? And why are you talking like this? Travel by foot? You have a car.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We got a special nigga in the house. Shout out to the special nigga in the house. My man Taz, the GOAT. B1 Taz here. Never thought I'd see the day where Hood Conservative agrees with Nicki Minaj. Taz, you don't agree with Nicki Minaj? Hold up, Taz, now. What Nicki do to you, Taz? What Nicki do wrong now?
The Mercedes in the driveway. It's 2020, Mom. You're free.
I thought I was free. I felt free, but I don't know I was free. They said voter ID is racist, and it suppresses the black vote.
Mom, you have ID. You have since you were 15. And even if you didn't, we have access to cars and buses, and you don't even have to sit in the back anymore. It's 2020.
So I can vote,
Mm-hmm.
I can drive,
Yes.
I can think for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me us is free, baby?
Yes, us is. I mean, we're free, mom. We are free.
Oh, thank you, why, Jesus. Us is free. Us is free.
Limitation.
Shout out to Cellulite Podcast. Hope you know, bro, we are free. We are free. Not everybody has caught the news, but apparently black folk, we can vote.
Good afternoon. Let me begin by thanking my good friend and the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, for her continued leadership and partnership. Let me acknowledge all of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, including, of course, our immediate past chairs, Congressman Stephen Horsford and Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. So thankful to be present with these distinguished civil rights leaders, leaders of the Divine Nine, as well as faith leaders and people from all throughout the country who are champions of the African American community, champions of the principles that make this country at its best a country of liberty and justice for all. Donald Trump once asked Black America the question, what the hell do you have to lose? The answer is everything under his administration. We know that under the Trump administration, civil rights is under attack, voting rights is under attack, reproductive rights under attack, racial justice under attack, social justice under attack, economic justice under attack, Black entrepreneurship under attack. Black America is under attack. The United States of America has been under attack by the failed policies of a failed president and sycophants in the Republican Party who continue to act like nothing more than a reckless rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda. Under the Trump administration, the Black unemployment rate is up, the Black home ownership rate is down, and healthcare is being ripped away from millions of Americans, disproportionately impacting Black and brown communities and lower income white communities throughout the nation. But we're here as members of the Congressional Black Caucus, civil rights leadership, faith leaders, leaders of the Divine Nine organizations, standing together to make clear that we're not going to step back. We're here to fight back and to make sure we protect the interests of Black America and all of the United States of America. And as John Lewis would often encourage us to do, we will continue to show up. We will continue to stand up. We will continue to speak up. We'll summon that character, that courage, that conviction of those upon whose shoulders in this Black History Month we proudly stand upon. And together we're going to end this national nightmare and continue this country's march toward a more perfect union. God bless you all.
For almost 5 decades, I have been a liberal Democrat. Okay. I had raised my children to be Democrats and believe in the Democratic Party, all of that. And it took for this last election for me to have to sit down and do some real research and find out, like, who am I truly going to vote for and why? And it wasn't until a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, that I realized they've been lying to us this whole time. We've been getting screwed this whole time. And the devastation that I felt, I cannot put into words. It was as if I was in a marriage with someone for 30 plus years. And I come to find out that they don't even love me. They got a whole new family of immigrants that they care about more. And they're only using me for my money. I am their slave. And if I choose to leave them and go over here to these red folks, then they're going to try to make my life a living hell. Being a Democrat is like being in a very toxic and abusive relationship. And I just pray that more and more of my people get out of that toxic and abusive relationship and conform to the true conservative values that you were raised with. We were raised with these values. Man and woman should be married. You don't just go out here and keep on getting pregnant by everybody just because you can kill them. Your body is sacred. You love and you worship God, and you respect the house of the Lord. We all know that. All of these things, family first. Family, God, faith, all that's first. All of these things were taught to us as we were being raised, in regards to who raised us or how we were being raised. This is what has been bred into us. So for the Democratic Party to try to make us accept all this other nonsense, like kids being able to transition and taking the Bible out of the prayer out of schools and all of this nonsense, you got to take the jab if you want to work. No, we were not raised like that. That is not part of who we are. If we truly want to return to who we are, you got to get over there with them conservatives, because that's where it's at. That's who we truly are. And they love us over there.
The Democrats, and also, oddly enough, Black America are going through something of an identity crisis right now. The Democrats have long been the home of the Black vote. They've been, seen as the morally righteous party for all these different reasons. But as a lot of the Black people are pulling away from the Democrat Party, they're also losing their moral credibility as a party, because the one group of people who they've basically made into a mascot, it now looks
But so one of the biggest things that are going to drive us in this underclass structure will be conservatism. The second thing is that you're going to have an unending influx of immigrants into the country. And that's what Dr. Price is talking about. And nobody, no Black politician, no Black organization wants to deal with that issue. They will avoid it at all costs, even though in their hearts they know that's one of the biggest problems for Black folk. We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense.
In a lot of ways, this whole FBA, Black identity, this new version of the Black identity movement, this FBA thing, and don't get me wrong, I'm way too right-wing to be fully on board with a lot of the FBA stuff, but I like the idea of an organic, Black, nativist, nationalistic movement, even though they are a little bit liberal for me. You niggas are never getting your reparations, get over it. But there is an identitarian, there's an existential crisis that the FBAs are at least confronting, which is that you are attempting to overwhelm us, not just the country, but Black folk directly. You're overwhelming the Black vote with the immigrant Latino vote to the point where the Black vote, even if it's a large 90% block, it will not matter. You are going to drown out the Black vote with the Latino vote.
Even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2.
We cannot make significant progress on racial equity. This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics.
Uncle Joe tried to tell you Negroes, all right? Remember Uncle Joe? He tried to tell you Negroes, you're going to have to work for the Hispanics. I know he said with, but in reality, it's for. You know, Joe lies to you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. He uses soft words like work with, and I'm like, no, you're going to work for. That's how that's going to happen. You're going to work for them, not with them. And your Black Caucus just sat there and took it, by the way. They're like, yes, Master Joe, we're going to work for the Latinos. We're going to work for Juan and them. I was going to work for Jose. Yes, pre-1965 America was mostly 90-10. 90% white, 10% black, 1% other. And you know the irony, this is something I was having a conversation with my homeboy about this whole thing recently. Like, you know, the only people from a political perspective, the only people who really have the best interest of native Black Americans at heart are the so-called racist white people. Those are the people who want America to stay America. Those are the people who want the numbers to stay relatively the same, which means Black folk don't get drowned out by Latinos or all these other competing ethnicities, the Indians, the Africans, the Asians, whatever. The only people who actually are on your side in that ironic twist of events is the allegedly racist white man. And so, realizing that, I have vowed to only vote racist from here on out. You don't get my vote if you're not a little bit racist, because I just can't trust you.
By 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do in terms of raw numbers. We're going to have to be working with a whole group of people that, in fact, are the single most diverse democracy in American history and anywhere in the world. Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
And you know, even like recently with the choice of Bad Bunny to perform at the Super Bowl, it's just another one of those efforts to kind of get Black people to identify with some other group that's they're not exactly Black. They might resemble you in some way. You might share some affinities even, but they are distinctly not you. Yet the idea is to get Black people to identify with all of these other groups who are not white, but also not you. And then we're all confused about what we're supposed to do next after that.
I'm proud Black man, I'm a proud Dominican man.
Hey, mommy, I'm Black. You want me to wash my hair?
We're representing Latinidad in general, but I'm also representing my race, my Black race.
What's up, y'all? I'm Eliana, the head of Afro-Latino content and lead producer here at Latin Nation Roots. Afro-Latino and Black American experiences in the U.S. share way more common ground than different.
I'm almost positive nobody in Latin America says shit like Afro-Latina. I feel like Afro-Latina is like a Yankee gringo word. Real Gualas don't talk like that.
Black race.
What's up, y'all? I'm Eliana, the head of Afro-Latino content and lead producer here at Latin Nation Roots. Afro-Latino and Black American experiences in the U.S. share way more common ground than differences. Many Afro-Latinos in the U.S. find deeper cultural alignment and representation with Black American life. And at the same time, countless Black Americans have Latino roots, but they feel disconnected from that identity. With shows like Black Trinidad, here at Latin Nation Roots, we aim to bridge this divide by centering our shared stories, our culture, and our lived experiences.
Black or brown, there's a lot of oppression and there's a lot of obstacles that we face.
Yeah, I was noticing that I was the only Afro-Latino or just Black man in the office in general.
In both. I love being both.
Yeah. Policing of Blackness. Like, people like to pick and choose when and where certain people can identify as Black or can't identify.
Like, there's a misconception that there aren't Latinos that look like me.
So in the end, we focus on where our histories started, which allows a space for the full Black diaspora to be seen and understood.
Again, theoretically, they may be something like Black, but they're not of us. They are not us, right? They are something else. They resemble us and phenotype only, but they are not like us. And again, only because being a racist requires you to understand the intricacies of the others. Only the American white people that have been called racist really understand who's an American and who's not.
Even if she had always claimed to be an American Black, it's simply factual that she is not a foundational Black American. And again, that is why America has all of these provisions like affirmative action and set-asides and civil rights laws. It is because of the shame and guilt about slavery and Jim Crow, both little democratic enterprises, by the way. So it all has to be spent on Black Americans, not on any loser with a grievance from around the world. And that's what it's become. I listed in that column you mentioned, Peter, because it always makes me laugh that all the good diversity jobs are going to immigrants. There was Claudine Gay, the head of a lot of the affirmative action programs, and there are like 200 affirmative action or DEI administrators.
All the good diversity jobs going to immigrants now. I'm only voting racist now. I'm voting racism straight down the ticket from now on. There's no other way out of this, y'all.
And there are like 200 affirmative action or DEI administrators. They're Indians, a lot of Indians. And I went through all of the immigrants.
A lot of Indians. You heard, Ann? A lot of Indians.
Like 200 affirmative action or DEI administrators. They're Indians, a lot of Indians. And I went through all of the immigrant hosts on MSNBC. And I forget, there are like 8 of them. And 3 or 4 foundational Black Americans. And I know, MSNBC, they're so proud of their diversity. No, it's not about diversity. It's about integrating Black Americans into mainstream American life, and giving them benefits to make up for slavery and Jim Crow. I think, some affirmative action programs went a little far and aren't really helping. But that's what it's about, and we've completely pretended to forget what the point of this was.
Sometimes I get asked, why do you criticize Democrats more than you criticize Republicans? Is it because you love the Republicans and hate the Democrats? No, I didn't vote for either party. The reason I criticize the Democrats more than the Republicans is because you have to understand a concept called quid pro quo. Quid pro quo means something for something. That means that if you give somebody something, they're supposed to give you something back. If you give them nothing, then they don't owe you nearly as much. So when somebody says, well, the Democrats didn't do anything, but what did the Republicans do? My question is, well, did we give the Republicans 80%, 90% of the Black vote? Have we supported the Republicans in every election since the Civil Rights Movement? Do we make sure that Republicans get into office the same way we make sure Democrats get into office? The answer is no. So why would you think that a party that you gave nothing to is supposed to give you the same as a party that you gave your whole political life to, all your political power to? That's like somebody going to work 40 hours a week, and then when you ask your boss for the paycheck, he says, well, what about the company down the street? They didn't give you nothing either. That's not the same thing. You're going to say, hey, but I worked for you. I did the labor for you. I invested in you. So people got to understand, look, the day I will criticize the Republicans more than the Democrats will be when the Republicans are getting 90% of the black vote, then they will be in my crosshairs. And really, what you got to understand, too, is that when we spend all our time complaining about the Republicans and say nothing about the party that we put in office, we're pretty much giving cover to the people that are using us and oppressing us. So, no, I don't think that it should be the same. You don't go to the people who owe you nothing and expect to receive the same that you get from people who owe you something. People who don't get that need to go study quid pro quo. Go read a copy of Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. He explains it very clearly. And unfortunately, our people don't know that. That's why we'll sit there and give everything to somebody who gives us nothing. And then they say, well, what did they give you? They didn't give you nothing either. Well, they don't owe us as much as you do because we gave you everything. That's my 2 cents. If you want to know my solution, it's wealth. I have a PhD in finance. I teach wealth to 10,000 people every morning for free. Put the word money in the comments if you're on Instagram, and I'll invite you to class.
Shout out to Boyce Watkins. That's like the first time I've ever unironically played a clip from Boyce Watkins. I usually don't like what this nigga be talking about, but he was spot on right there. He was spot on. You're getting nothing for your vote. If you gave the Democrats your vote, you could at least give a nigga $1 over here is all I'm saying. You gave them niggas all your votes all this time. You can at least give me $1. Shout out to my man Joey Montana with the $9.99. As a representative of the Guala Guala Nation, we normally don't speak like that. Hence the joke, I know black, I Dominican. We have a lot of similarities, but we are not exactly the same. That is absolutely true. Shout out to the Dominicans over there. Right now, as we speak, you know what the Dominicans are doing? I promise you, go look it up. They are violently deporting any Haitian that they can catch. You better have every line of your paperwork accurate, nigga. The Haitians are getting deported from the Dominican Republic, and nobody gives a damn. That's just how it is. That's just the way it is. But shout out to my man Joey Montana with the $9.99. Smash that super chat button for me, y'all.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
What they're trying to do here is the same thing that was done in the South for decades to prevent people of color from voting.
See, this is where my righteous anger pop up because I know what he's saying is a lie. I live in the South. I've been living in the South my whole life on the Gulf Coast. I go to vote every single time there's an election. And guess what? I show my ID. I write my signature. They check to make sure who I am. I go vote. No problems. Nobody asking me any questions. Nobody making me count the jelly beans in the jar. And quit lumping us in the people of color category. We're Black Americans. And we are citizens, and nobody is taking away our right to vote. What?
Exactly. We're not getting deported and we're not being disenfranchised. We just need you niggas to prove that you're not an illegal when you come up here trying to vote next to homegirl on the screen. She's been here way too long to let some illegal immigrants come and dilute her vote.
They're doing is they're using Black people, going back in the past, provoking emotional manipulation because they know if they say Jim Crow or slavery, Black people are going to be like, oh my God, he's right. They're coming against us. This has nothing to do with you, Black people. Wake up. People of color he talking about is illegal migrants. They don't have IDs. That's their new voting base. Letting these people use you. I've been having an ID since I was 15 years old. I'm 50 years old. Every Black person I know has an ID. You need an ID to drive. You need an ID to go into a club. You need an ID to fly on a plane. You need an ID to go into another country. You need an ID to buy liquor. You need an ID to buy cigarettes. I don't know any Black person without an ID. Even the poorest of the poor Black people have an ID. JJ down the street that dig in the trash can that I pass by and he always bothering me about a little bit of money. And when I feeling a little giving, I give him $5. Guess what he do? He goes straight into the liquor store. So even the homeless man got an ID. Black people, y'all can keep letting these liberals play in y'all face. But Malcolm X warned y'all about these people. They're using you. This is about getting illegal migrants to vote. They don't have an ID. So they don't want any questions whenever they walk in there. They are the Democratic Party new voting base. They are the new slave.
For instance, if you change, you're a woman who got married and changed your last name, you won't be able to show ID and you'll be discriminated against. If you can't find a birth certificate or a proper ID, you'll be discriminated against.
Well, first of all, that's a lie. I've been married twice. Don't judge me. Divorced and then he died. Now I'm remarried. Now let's get back to it. Both times I presented my birth certificate and photo ID. And then I got a marriage license. I got married. And then if I tarried on getting my name changed, guess what? If I went to vote and I didn't have the right name, all I have to do is bring my marriage license. And we know we got a birth certificate. You know why? Because I needed it to get my marriage license, dummy. Or if you didn't need it, you had to have some type of ID in order to get the marriage license. So you bring both. You bring both. And they check it. And they see that the marriage license is your name change. That is just if you just got married at the time of an election. Most of us women, we get married and we handle business. We go ahead and get that new social security card and that new driver's license. Black America, I'm going to need you to wake up. Did you hear what I said? Black America.
Okay, we have a woman in the chat named Yolanda Half Almond. She says, I guess about me, another black KK Klansman defending their pedophile masters. And I think it's interesting how being even slightly right-wing or conservative, and look, don't judge me. I'm full far-right fascist, so I might be the bad thing you're worried about. But I just think it's interesting how being a little bit right-wing, you automatically become a white man to other black people. It's like as soon as I become conservative, I become something like white to the minds of a lot of black folk. It's very strange how that works out, but I'm going to lean into it. Respect my whiteness, bitch.
You just stated that the SAVE Act is an attack on civil rights and is racist. Could you just explain that further? Because 76% of Black Americans support the SAVE Act, according to CNN.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, we find it racist because at the end of the day, it's targeting Black communities with a cost burden. We've been through this historically, right? Where we've been prohibited from voting because we didn't know how many bubbles were in a soap bar. And so this is just a new iteration of that. And we're very focused on defeating it.
But if 76% of Black Americans support voter ID,
I don't believe that 76%.
CNN reported it.
Well, that's
Check out the
possible.
polls.
That's possible.
Okay.
But I do not agree with it.
You just stated that the SAVE Act is an attack on civil rights and is racist.
Like at first, I wasn't really, trying to get into this whole political conversation, but as the voting season is upon us, right? I've been paying attention more. And at first, I wasn't really like into the ICE thing, and now I realized y'all are fucking crazy. Like y'all are really fucking crazy, yo. Y'all really out here trying to make it seem like Americans are wrong for wanting people to come to their country and assimilate. Like the Islamic people that are trying to bring their Islamic culture here, or is it to bring the Sharia culture here? When it's like, if you want that, go back to your country. Y'all can't do half the shit y'all do here in your own country. You can't go to fucking UAE and tell them you want it to be Christian. You can't go there. You can't go to Russia and tell them they have to speak English. Like, why are y'all, like, I really hate how ignorant you people sound. And you're mad at Americans because Americans want America to be about America. If you don't like America, go back to where you want to implement your fucking culture.
A lot of black folk are not really mad at ICE, I'm noticing online. We're having a very distinct breakdown of the black vote right now, and things will never be the same again.
Married women just aren't that smart, guys. I don't know why we haven't all realized this. So as a representative for the left, the lefties, liberal lefty besties, who I'm unmarried, of course, because I would never be married. Married women would never be capable of having an entire, organizing and or system to keep track of all of their documents that they need to prove their identity. That would never be how a married woman keeps track of all of those details to make sure that she can prove her identity and also the identity of all of her children and also her marriage and all of those things. That would never be how a married woman keeps up with things to make it really easy to go to doctor's appointments, register her kids for school, also go and get copies of her ID whenever she needs it, also to verify her residency, be able to get, rent places, be able to buy cars. There's no way she would already have a passport.
And as she's talking, it occurs to me that like within marriages, especially, these are the kinds of things that the woman more often than not would be taking care of, these little details, making sure all the documents are in order, all the kids' documents, the husband. She wants to know about the husband's medical things. She's making sure everybody's in shape and healthy. Typically, the better wives, they're in charge of that exact area. So her busting out the notebook about all the documents, it actually tracks in my mind. I would not be surprised if that is more common than not.
For work, because she actually has a career, had a career where she needed to go travel abroad to actually go work. There's no way she would already have this because married women are poor and stupid. There's no way that married women are going to know how to prove why their last name doesn't match their birth certificate. There's no way they would have a document called a marriage license to prove that they got married. There's no way they would still have a copy of their older social security card along with having photo ID or even having, like I said, that marriage license or their birth certificate. There's no way that they would know how to prove that they are who they say they are because they're dumb married women, right?
One other thing, I just before we leave, I think you should do this. For my safety and security and for the good of our nation, you should do it anyway, regardless, even if it costs 10 times more, but it actually costs you just a tiny fraction. If you went to paper ballots and you're voting, and I would hope that every Republican would. So it costs exactly 8% of what the machines cost. These machines, they got something going. They get business. It's amazing. So paper ballots, and paper is very sophisticated today. It's called watermark. It's impossible to copy, impossible to cheat. It's actually hard to believe that a piece of paper is highly sophisticated, but it's watermark, and it's it's amazing actually when you see it. You can't cheat. But if you went to paper ballots and same day voting, and if you went to voter ID, and also one other thing, you want a proof of citizenship. Those four things: proof of citizenship, voter ID, paper ballots, one-day voting.
And so, of course, they're using this whole voting issue to kind of rally the civil rights troops. And it's just not really landing the way they wanted to right now. There are way too many aggrieved Black voters out there for the narrative to hold anymore. And then because they want to control the idea of the Black identity, you have Black people with their own ideas of the Black identity now pushing back and speaking up, because the identity can't just belong to the politics, right? Your Black identity can't be owned by the political winds.
Sweetheart, I'm a foundational Black American. Yeah, I'm blackity black. I'm so Black on my birth certificate, it has me listed as a Negro. Let me give you a little quick education. Because I know you believe you believe everything that the Democrats have been feeding you since birth. But let me give you a quick education. Did you know that it was the Democrats who were the party of slavery? It was the Democrats who were the party that stopped Lincoln from giving out the 40 acres and a mule to Black people, to the newly freed slaves. It was the Democrats who instituted Jim Crow. It was the Democrats, here, listen closely, that opposed every single amendment, every one, for Black people to be freed and to get any kind of civil rights. The Democrats were the ones who did that. But somehow or another, they managed to fool you. They managed to stick the banana in the tailpipe, and you fell for it. most of us fell for, that it's the Republicans that are the racists. No, sweetheart, it's the Democrats. Everything that has bad, everything bad that has happened to our community lies at the feet of the Democrats. Actually read your real history and quit listening to these people. It's the Democrats.
From Stacey Abrams to Jasmine Crockett to Kamala Harris, you can never ever blame black people for you losing anything. Because if you're a Democrat or you are black, you'll get black votes. If you are a Democrat at all, you get black votes. Nobody Democrat can blame black people for shit. Every time a Democrat loses, you got to blame white people. Every time. Because that's who it is. It's never us. They're just cowardly. Democrats are so cowardly to confront reality when it comes to, because though black people are the base, we're not the base of the money. But what we give them is credibility. No other group in America can say that. The issue with Jasmine Crockett that I have is I do not feel she has earned this run. I feel like she wanted to run because she got so much momentum because Trump said her name. And most of her campaign has been about complaining that Trump says her name, which is crazy. Which is the only reason why you know who she is, because Trump said her name. And when she loses, if she loses, which I believe is highly likely, they will blame their usual suspects. And those usual suspects are black men.
Again, the black vote has to be owned by the Democrats, but at the same time, they're trying to trade you out for a new Latino immigrant voting bloc, which it has to mean something for your black vote. And so it's a little bit of a bait and switch happening right now where they want you as black people to defend, to vote against the SAVE Act. They want you to assume that you're losing your voting rights. But in reality, you're losing your voting rights by having all these illegal immigrants come out and dilute your black vote.
Republicans are trying to make it harder for you to vote. Let me tell you how. The Save America Act would require your passport or your birth certificate to match your current name in order to be able to vote. If y'all got married and changed your name, your birth certificate would not match your current name. Nearly 69 million women in America have a birth certificate that does not match their current name, and therefore 69 million American women would no longer be eligible to vote.
It's funny because the majority of black women are not even married. So like, who are you helping? I hate to even break it down to you like that, but it's a fact. The majority of black women are actually not married, so it's not helping them. It's not hurting them.
I say that the Save America Act is needed to prevent undocumented immigrants from voting, but y'all already know that that is not a thing. What this really is, it's a voter suppression bill to keep lawfully voting American citizens from being able to exercise their foundational right to vote. I'm obviously voting no, but I just want you guys to know that this is serious and it's happening right now ahead of the critical 2026 midterm elections.
Welcome to another day under Republican majority. I won't hold y'all long, but tonight we voted on the SAVE Act, which stands for Safeguarding Americans' Voter Eligibility. This is a bill that is a solution in search of a problem that does not exist. Non-citizens already can't vote. So to create a bill that requires proof of citizenship and denies forms of ID like state IDs and real IDs as being a sufficient way to prove that you are a citizen so that you can vote, this is going to disenfranchise millions of voters. It'll be costly, it'll be inconvenient. This will disenfranchise rural voters, military voters. This is Jim Crow, voter suppression, full stop. And that is why I voted hell no. But who's shocked by this? This is exactly what a dictator wants. They want to silence your voices and they want to dilute our electoral power. They know they can't beat us fair and square, so they just keep trying to rig the system. And that is why I voted hell no on the SAVE Act. We should be focused, honestly, on how to really save you money, because every day, everything is just getting harder and harder to make ends meet.
To all my black brothers and sisters, if you can't tell by now, the clear plan of the Democrats is to replace us with immigrant communities from around the world. And the reason why is because foundational black Americans ideologically have never been and still are not liberals. And once the black community as a whole wakes up to this, we will stop voting for Democrats. I'm sure of it. And the people who run the Democratic Party have been aware of this for a very long time. Hence the need to replace us over time. The reason why most black Americans traditionally have not been ideologically liberal is because most of us were raised with the worldview that coincided with biblical teachings. And this is something within the black community that we should be proud of and cling to. Many of us can see in real time that there is an effort to remove God and biblical teachings from everything we learn in school and also everything we see in entertainment. And this connection with God and biblical teachings has always been a strength of the black community in America. Think about it. What gave our ancestors the strength to keep fighting throughout all the things they went through? It was the understanding that God was going to make a way, no matter how bleak the circumstances looked at the time. And if there's one thing I want my black brothers and sisters to understand in current day, it's that we are our ancestors, and we need to embrace that. Modern day progressive thinking has convinced the black community as a whole that we need to reinvent the wheel. But if you ask me, I think if the black community would just lean further into our roots, we would see a seismic positive shift. And you may ask, well, what are our roots? The answer is very simple, and most of us actually know our roots intrinsically, but we never actually think about it. Our roots are our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, and the things that they did, like going to church every Sunday, going to Bible study on Wednesday nights, being selfless and making sure that others in the community had what they needed, working hard for what we have and being grateful that we have it. These are the characteristics that have always made up the black community up until recent history. And we have the ability to be successful independent of any other ethnic group helping us out. And I know this because we've done it before. Like I stated in multiple other videos, the 100 years following the Emancipation Proclamation was a clear blueprint on how the black community can be successful in this country. A lot of people ask me, how can we change the black community in America and make it better? And I think that the answer to that question lies really within our roots and what we've done in the past.
Also in Washington, conservatives are pushing for the passage of the SAVE Act, which would, among other things, require documentary proof of U.S. citizenship before registering an individual to vote in a federal election. Now, there is overwhelming support for ensuring that only citizens vote and for providing voter ID when they do. This morning on CNN, polling director Harry Enton called it this way. Here's cut 9.
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country.
Fully 83% of the American people support photo ID before you can vote. And to reiterate, Black voters, 76%. White voters, 85%. Latino voters, 82%. Now, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Democratic leader, calls all of this Jim Crow 2.0. Now, when you hear them bring out that old chestnut of a talking point, you know they really have nothing. But how can it be when Jim Crow 2.0, when Black voters themselves overwhelmingly support voter ID? Again, Black voters support showing ID, 76%. A white Democrat from New York City, it seems to me, is telling Black voters they are too stupid to know what is best for them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the modern Democratic Party in a nutshell.
What voting rights is he taking away from Black voters?
Oh, if we look
What,
at
the SAVE Act?
the SAVE Act,
Are
that's
you
exactly
talking
what we're
about-
talking about.
How?
That is
How?
actually going to continue to
How?
disenfranchise
How?
overwhelmingly a lot of people of color.
How?
There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise Black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called
How?
it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president.
how?
If we want to continue,
You haven't said how yet.
And shout out to Scott Jennings. It's like his job on CNN is to be the white guy who stands up to Black people. I don't know if they put that in his contract, but that's exactly how they use him on CNN. He's always the one strong, square-jawed white man who stands up to Black people. And he's like never wrong either. He always makes the Black folk look crazy. That's why he always goes viral.
I am talking about it. It's
How?
the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making
Poll
people
taxes?
have. That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to
Does it-
disenfranchise
does it-
Black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of Black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that Black voters
The
are
SAVE
too
Act
dumb to
isn't
know
just,
what's good for them? I
the
mean,
SAVE
it
Act
sounds
isn't just
pretty,
about
it sounds pretty condescending
just
to
to be
me.
clear, the
If
SAVE
you
Act
get
is not
three-quarters
just
of
about
Black voters
IDs.
That is not
who want
right.
voter IDs.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act
that's
is
your
not
putting
just
words in my
about
mouth.
ideas. The SAVE Act is about
So what?
proof of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't. I actually. I
It
mean,
also makes it very
Yeah,
hard
that's
for
what
women,
ID
married
means.
women who've
I
changed
was
their
just
lives.
gonna say,
Abby, that's exactly the point of ID, to prove who you are, to prove who is or is not a citizen of America. What's the problem with that, Abby? Why is that a big deal?
That's not
You
what
got three-quarters of Black voters
That is not
who want
right.
voter IDs.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act
that's
is
your
not
putting
just
words in my
about
mouth.
ideas. The SAVE Act is about
So what?
proof of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't. I actually. I
It
mean,
also
we-
makes
we
it very
talked-
hard for women,
we've
for
talked about
married
this.
women who've
I
changed
was
their
just gonna
lives.
say, we
This is
talked
all
about this
young
before.
people,
By the way,
poor
It's not.
voters.
It actually. There's an argument to be made that red state voters, women, poor white voters could be just as.
I know you think they're dumb too, don't you?
Young
I mean, that's the
voters?
thing.
Nobody
I
thinks
hear
they're
these
dumb.
arguments. I've
Scott,
heard
hold on,
Democrats all
hold on,
week long.
Scott.
No,
Please don't. No, you listen.
There's a deflection from talking about Donald Trump's racism.
I'm actually
right there.
You should be thinking about your constituents or your
Yeah, I think they're smart
your
enough to figure out how to
colleagues in
register to vote.
Kentucky.
Abby.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate. Many women, a majority of women who change their names for marriage,
listen,
have to provide additional proof that they've
long.
changed their
All
legal
week long,
names in
I have
order to
heard-
register to vote.
I have heard
So,
Democrats
Scott, why
make
don't
these
you
same
actually
arguments.
respond
Right.
to the substance of what I'm saying?
I am, and the
as
substance
opposed
is
to
this.
making
You're
this about
saying-
something that it's not.
You're saying
it's not just
you're
about
saying
voter ID.
married
It's
women,
also about
Black
who has
voters,
access
and rural people
to.
are too stupid to figure out how to
Excuse
register to
me?
vote.
No, that's not-
that is not what
Democrats
she
have been
said.
making
That
this
is
argument all
so
week. It's
offensive.
crazy.
That is not what she said.
Are you saying they can't figure out how to vote?
Again, the so-called racist white man, he at least thinks the Black people are smart enough to vote. And all of his alleged white man racism, he knows these niggas can actually figure out how to learn to vote. They done figured it out for 100 years now. You think they're gonna forget tomorrow because you got to show up with ID? Scott's actually really like, and it's wild. Let me see, it's 1, 2, 3 Black people and a possible. I see 3 in a possible up there, and he's crushing all of them. Because are you telling all of you Black and possibly Black people telling me that Black people are too stupid to learn how to vote?
Are you saying they can't figure out how to vote?
exact same
It is a fact that a majority of Americans do not have passports. Many Americans, including white people, okay, do not have their original birth certificate or access.
You didn't say
to
what you
it.
said. Rural
I
white
would
people.
love to offer the proof of this.
Yeah, because that is also relevant. It doesn't matter to me where people
I guess
live.
I have a little more faith in
Do they have
rural
access?
America and married women than you.
Look, I don't
You're
know
saying
why.
they can't
I
figure
don't
out
know
how to
why.
He has more faith in Black people than Abby and all of the possibly Black people at the table. All of these alleged Negroes, Scott Jennings has more faith in Negroes than all of the Negroes at the table. This is an amazing moment right now.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
You think
What
why
is
you're
going
making
on
this
here?
about whether you're smart or not.
You're
Access
saying that they can't
to-
vote, that they
access to
can't figure out how to
Scott,
document to register to vote?
Access to documentation of proof of where you were born or proof of citizenship is an additional thing that people
Because
will
at
have
one
to
point,
do.
black people actually
She
weren't even
describes it as a
allowed
barrier
to
to vote.
It's a barrier.
It is a barrier.
This
Scott, do you have-
is
Scott, do you have your
exactly.
original birth certificate?
Yes.
Okay.
But at one
is
point, black
does
people weren't
everybody
even
that
allowed
you know
to
have their
birth
original
certificates
birth
in this country.
certificate?
Everybody that I know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
But I know where mine is, and I know where my kids are.
There are elderly people in this country who are 80 years old and they haven't seen their original birth certificate in decades. They would need to provide
this is
proof of
fear-mongering.
citizenship.
It is not fear-mongering at all. It's not
That's
fear-mongering at all.
just a reality.
It's not fear-mongering
And
at all.
listen,
Jim Crow
here's how
2.0.
Scott,
They said that about the Georgia
It
law,
is-
and what happened? Voter participation
Scott,
went
the
up.
fact
Right. You said that exact thing about Georgia. And the votes went up, basically. All they do is gas you up about racism and Jim Crow and slavery and shit.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
citizenship.
It is not fear-mongering at all. It's not fear-mongering at all.
That's just a reality.
It's not fear-mongering
And
at all.
listen,
Jim Crow
here's how
2.0.
Scott,
They said that about the Georgia
It is-
law, and what happened? Voter participation
Scott,
went
The
up.
fact
in
that you won't
Georgia.
answer why you still support a
hold on. Here's
racist
how
my God.
policy
president
is
is
supposed to
actually
work in this
the
country.
problem.
And by the
You
way,
have a proposal, you look at the impacts of it, and you decide whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing to do. I think it is perfectly fair, whether you think that it disproportionately affects people of color or not, to ask the question, will a majority of Americans who want to be able to vote be able to access the documents that they would need
Yes, I
in
think
order
yes.
to prove
Clearly,
citizenship?
But Abby, you're asking
That's
the
your view,
underlying
but I'm
question,
saying
which is
people have
impact.
raised questions about that.
The reason that it works this way is impact. You mentioned Jim Crow 2.0.
No, I
What
didn't.
you
That's what
you
Schumer
just
thought.
said, the words Jim Crow 2.0, so I'm going to put it right here at the moment. And that is exactly the way that Jim Crow 1.0 was born. They took laws.
Democrats were wilding back
yeah, I won't finish. They took laws that were operational in the
Said the
North. And they
Democrats
said,
were wilding
these
back
were
then.
on
Hold up. Did Scott Jennings just say the Democrats were wilding back then? What was that?
finish. They took laws that were operational in the North. They took moment. And
Schumer, that's
what
what
you
Schumer
just
thought.
said, the words Jim Crow 2.0, so I'm going to put it right here at the moment. And that is exactly the way that Jim Crow 1.0 was born. They took laws.
Democrats were wilding back
yeah, I won't finish.
Oh, he said they were wily back then. Oh, I thought he said the Democrats was wilding back then. I'm like, no, Scott, you're getting too black on me.
And they took laws that were operational in the North, and they said these work on by the in the letter, but we're going to disrupt the spirit. They're going to take
We
these
gotta go.
laws
We really-
and use them on Black people in the South
All right.
to disenfranchise them, and that was the effect.
Everyone, thank you very much. We will be back in just.
Do you want to know why conservatives and Republicans hate white liberal women so much? It's because they need us. No, Scarlett, the issue is your overt racism wrapped in a smile and a white savior complex.
Yep.
You've been conditioned to believe that nothing can succeed without you,
Uh-huh.
that our progress requires your approval, your presence, and your guidance. And because your sense of value is tied to being needed, you've created policies and movements that keep people dependent on you. Because the moment a Black person or a Hispanic person doesn't align with your value system, the one that positions you as the gatekeeper to our success, you flood our DMs, calling us traitors to our race.
Yep.
You police us like overseers.
Yep.
You put us in our place, and you chase us like slave catchers, trying to drag us back into dependency so you can keep calling yourself an ally. That's why people are done with white liberalism. It's not because you're powerful. It's because you need to feel like you are by any means necessary.
I want to talk about these white liberals and the racism that they claim to hate. There was a lady the other day, I think she was like some lady on the Home and Garden Network or something like that, some random white woman, and I think she said the word fart nigga. Are you guys familiar with the fart nigga scandal? There's a put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with the fart nigga scandal. There's a white lady who was like working somewhere on a home improvement project, and something happened. I don't know. She banged her finger on a hammer, and she just blurted out the word "fart nigga." I don't know why. It was incredible. It's a thing on the internet. I don't make this stuff up. It's happening. And so, you know, she got fired because she said the N-word, right? Because, you know, black folk are very sensitive about the N-word.
Are you just like pure white?
I'm pure white.
Okay. So I was just wondering, like, what makes you like say like the N-word?
Of course. Well, I just like it, you know?
You just like it? So,
yeah.
Do you think that's like
So here is some random black kid asking this streamer, Clavicular, who I think he's like a male to male transgender. That's what the internet's saying about him. But anyway, this streamer is asking Clavicular about saying the N-word.
Are you just like pure white?
I'm pure white.
Okay. So I was just wondering, like, what makes you like say like the N-word?
Of course. Well, I just like it, you know?
You just like it? So,
yeah.
Do you think that's like, you think white people can say the N-word? Like, you think that's acceptable?
I think I can say the N-word. I think I can say it. I don't really think that, you know, it really matters that much.
Why you think it doesn't matter?
Well, because I'm just kind of like a free-spirited guy. Like, I don't really think about like social constraints and shit.
Are you just like pure white?
So that happened. And also recently there have been several incidents where these white liberal protesters have taken umbrage.
This isn't where I live.
Black or brown people work for ICE and they're out there deporting immigrants with ICE, and they start calling them all type of N-words when they get out there.
That's fine. This isn't where I live. No.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
If my parents paid all my
We
bills.
just want to make sure you got home.
This isn't where I live.
It's okay, Olivia. We appreciate it.
You can go talk to them.
Well,
this isn't where I live.
So if this is not where your vehicle's registered, you might want to look that up with their state.
It is, buddy. My address is correct on my ID and where my car is registered.
Okay.
Good try, though.
All right. Thanks, Olivia.
Do you feel strong or what?
We're good. Have a great day, okay?
I'll keep following you, okay?
Oh, no, she doesn't care. It's all right. No, come on. She doesn't care? She doesn't care. They never do.
How's it feel to be a race trader?
You know, we were trying to get a child molester, right?
No, you weren't.
Yes, we were.
How would you know?
Because it was a woman you talked to.
His wife.
And then his plate came back as
Also,
murder.
I just want to say, calling someone a race trader.
But you guys don't care.
I hope you realize that is the most racist thing you can say as a white
incredible.
woman.
Of course,
And
it
just
is.
so you know, this isn't a good look for you.
You think I care about my look?
No, oh no, trust me.
When you guys
it
are-
is evident by how you look, you don't care. We get that. Trust me. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying this, trying to be a social warrior. If you actually cared, you probably would care about the child who got raped and also the person who got murdered by the person that we were looking for. But see, you don't care.
No, I don't care because you guys
Thank
try.
you. Thank
You
you.
just try to detain legal immigrants. None of you actually give a shit. If you were here to get
So like white liberal women calling black men race traders is like the new wave now, apparently.
illegal, violent immigrants off the street, that would be fine. That's
were,
not what you're doing.
It's not. No, hold on. It's okay. She
You
said
need to
it's
back
not.
up.
It's not.
It's not what you're
If you-
doing.
just so you know, if you were to spray that, you would be arrested.
That's fine.
Okay.
Don't come close to
Well,
me.
we're gonna tell you this. Stop following us.
No, it's
Oh,
not illegal.
So you don't want us to come close to you, but you keep riding our tail.
I have given you plenty of distance the entire time.
Okay. Just so you know, if you do impede, I want you to hear this.
Me following you is not
If-
impeding.
if
I'm
you-
well aware of my rights,
If
buddy.
you impede, you will be arrested.
I have not impeded.
I'm just letting you know.
What are you looking for, you fucking weirdo?
She put that in OC. That's right.
Yeah, she did. But
What are you looking for, you fucking weirdo?
Energy, like we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow, is that a question?
Wow.
Okay. How do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good?
Fucking house nigga, isn't there? Sir, I need to move. Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
What's wrong with you people?
Why are you calling a woman a man? I mean, what kind of guy does that?
Fucking house nigga, bitch. Go up for that fucking
And so you're supposed to ironically be on this team. And again, I'm confused. I thought all this like racism talk was bad. I thought white folk was not allowed to talk like that to black people. But here, notice the rules change instantly.
99.9% of the time, it is wrong for a white person to call a black person the N-word, but we may have found the exception. In Minneapolis recently, a white anti-ICE protester was in a group of anti-ICE protesters yelling at a black ICE Gestapo agent. An unidentified white male called the black ICE agent a house N-word who's working for the KKK. That's right, we have a white man calling a black man the N-word. But this is a little bit different. White on black usage of the N-word is a very serious issue. But this is a curveball example. Is it wrong for a white person to call a black ICE officer a house N-word? Let's explore.
Put one in the chat. We got to explore this, y'all. Why is it okay for a white protester to call a black person the N-word?
White man who used the N-word in this situation was being historically precise. This black ICE agent, he is being a house N-word to the utmost degree. A black man in ICE is a...
Well, I mean, why wouldn't that cut the other way? Why aren't black liberals considered house N-words if that's the way it goes, right? Because that's still the white man's house over there, isn't it? If white liberals have the right to call you an N-word whenever they choose, then it's still the white man's house, isn't it? And look at this nigga. Look at the wall behind him. This nigga is literally giving house nigga. Look at all those books. You don't read those books outside. You don't read those books on the corner. You don't read those books in the gym. You don't read those books on the strip. You wasn't out there in the street with them books, nigga. You was in the house reading books, bro. A literal house nigga. It's amazing shit.
A modern house slave. He's a barely paid mule for white supremacy. The KKK were domestic terrorists. ICE is domestic terrorism. I think this is a valid usage of the N-word. He's not attacking his blackness per se.
It's a valid usage of the N-word. We have gone so far. Look, literal crazy eyes, by the way. We have gone so far to the left that we've allowed white liberals to just be openly hostile and racist again. It's like we've gone full circle. We're all the way back to pre-Klan, not even pre-Klan, but like pre-civil rights Democrats. We've turned full circle all the way back to remember when they said before civil rights, there was the big switch. The Democrats used to be racist. Now they love black people. Remember the big switch? They told you that in middle school, right? No, look, even if that was true, which I don't think it's true, but it's like we've kind of come all the way around. We went all the way back to the beginning, where now it's like, it's okay if the Democrats call this white man a nigga. This black man, excuse me. It's okay if Democrats call this black man a nigga.
Historically precise. This black ICE agent, he is being a house N-word to the utmost degree. A black man in ICE is a modern house slave. He's a barely paid mule for white supremacy. The KKK were domestic terrorists. ICE is domestic terrorism. I think this is a valid usage of the N-word. He's not attacking his blackness per se. He's attacking his bootlicking choice to be in ICE while being a black man.
Torre is also married to a white woman. I just think it's interesting.
Being black in ICE makes you a house N-word. So to call you that, it's almost like a professor pointing out, oh, look, there's a modern house N-word. I think this usage is valid and acceptable.
Now, the only appropriate response to this is to refer to all the black liberals as house niggas. And then explain in great detail how black liberals are in fact house niggas. You've been in the master house so long, you're actually gay. You've been in the master house so long, you don't even believe in boy and girl anymore. You came out of that master's house gender fluid and binary queer and all kinds of socially weird ideas in your head. How is the liberals not the house of the master? Like, what's actually black about all this liberal stuff anyway? I mean, it's only fair. You're going to have to start throwing that N-word around equally now. Everybody gets it now.
N-word. So to call you that, it's almost like a professor pointing out, oh, look, there's a modern house N-word. I think this usage is valid and acceptable. If it had just been the N-word, that would be problematic. But when he adds the house N-word, he's being historically realistic. So yes, it is okay to call black ICE agents house N-words.
These are the type of people that you kind of want to fight sometimes. Like, I bet if I punched you in the mouth, you wouldn't say that shit to me no more.
Yes, it is okay to call black ICE agents house N-words.
That is a clip. That is such a clip. Gotta isolate that for later. I'm going to throw the link in the chat briefly. We're going to have a very, very short discussion about this whole phenomenon. You guys want to come up, throw $1 in the hat and click the link. Somebody throw $1 in the hat. Somebody click the link. If you want to come up, question on the table, is it ever okay for white protesters to call black ICE agents house niggas? That is the question. Having a bit of a philosophical debate up here about the N-word pass, y'all. Do white liberals get the pass against black ICE agents? Can white liberals use the N-word unironically? The link is in the chat. Having a bit of an existential N-word crisis up here, y'all.
99.9% of the time, it is wrong for a white person to call a black person the N-word, but we may have found the exception. In Minneapolis recently, a white anti-ICE protester was in a group of anti-ICE protesters yelling at a black ICE Gestapo agent. An unidentified white male called the black ICE agent a house N-word who's working for the KKK. That's right, we have a white man calling a black man the N-word. But this is a little bit different. White on black usage of the N-word is a very serious issue. But this is a curveball example. Is it wrong for a white person to call a black ICE officer a house N-word? Let's explore. The white man who used the N-word in this situation was being historically precise. This black ICE agent, he is being a house N-word to the utmost degree. A black man in ICE is a modern house slave. He's a barely paid mule for white supremacy. The KKK were domestic terrorists. ICE is domestic terrorism. I think think this is a valid usage of the N-word. He's not attacking his blackness per se. He's attacking his bootlicking choice to be in ICE while being a black man. Being black in ICE
Damn
makes
jigaboo, bro.
house N-word. So to call you that, it's almost like a professor pointing out, oh, look,
This
there's
nigga
a
here is
modern
a jigaboo.
I think
This is a jigaboo ass nigga, bro. Let's just keep it real. That's one thing that helped me when it came to political ideologies, that I realized there were just as many racists on the left than there was on the right. If you want to talk about race baiting, right? It's the same people, just different ideologies. So when I hear niggas get on here and say, "Oh, we condone that because of the black guy was working against us," basically the black guy was working for your benefit versus against you, because believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? If you're talking about Minnesota, I mean, they just called a new STI based on fucking ringworms, bro.
What?
Yeah. Minneapolis has a new STI based on ringworms. Motherfuckers is catching ringworms in the pussy, dick, ass, all that shit. Wild fungus, nigga.
What the
Wow. Wow. We inventing diseases never seen before.
Look that
Oh,
shit
that's
up,
tough.
nigga. That's real. That's real. They,
I
they
will.
said it
I
live.
will.
I'm already in enough pain. I don't need more trauma in my life.
I can't stand this nigga right here, Hood and gentleman on the panel. I can't stand this. I never liked the Tory.
I never liked that nigga either.
Ever since he was with Vibe, bro, I always had a bad vibe about this type of nigga right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is the same nigga, you know what I'm saying, a few months back that was trying to go ahead and make all these arguments for DEI, saying that if students don't have a black teacher, how they gonna learn about their history. This is the same nigga, bro. This is the same nigga that got caught up in a Me Too situation a few years back with some Keisha's trying to cheat on his white wife. Now we understand why this nigga right here is compromised.
And that nigga been compromised. Hey, Hood, play the clip in the back. Man, we sick of that nigga there.
As I don't curse him out, and as long as I don't threaten him, I can say what I want. Am I correct? Yes. We sick and tired of that nigga there. We sick as I don't curse him out.
Now, real talk, that's kind of how the attitude has to be, though.
Bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like, if black people, if black liberals are going to be so hostile against black conservatives that they're going to give white people the N-word pass, why do you think I'm not sensitive about the N-word no more? Because I know how you niggas give it up. I don't care about that petty shit. Nah, you're not going to gaslight me with some bullshit no more.
No, Hood, this what makes me mad. The black liberals invite everybody to the damn barbecue. Everybody. Yo,
Yeah, everybody, bro. Like, hold on. Like, how did they go from niggas was talking about they wanted to get some reparations to now they fighting for niggas without IDs to go wherever the hell they want to go when these niggas can't even go nowhere without an ID? Shit is crazy.
Let's make sure we make a distinction. This is the black liberal, the black progressive slash liberal making these type of fucking stupid statements. You are absolutely correct about that shit, bro.
But
hey, look, dude, all I know is I'm switching parties, man. From this day forward, this nigga is a liberal.
This motherfucker. What up, Snowman? But nah, though, for real though. This is the last stop. Like, for real though. After this so-called,
if all I got to do is be a liberal to be able to openly use the N-word, I am liberal from now until infinity.
I mean, you was already
a goddamn monster. You see the shit? This is the shit I'm talking about. Unchecked, uncontrolled racism.
Hey, all I'm saying is let's test it out in real time, man. That's all I'm doing. I'm testing the theory out in real time.
Yeah. But this is the last straw right here. And people in the chat, people on the panel. This is a big, like the one with the glasses and the and we again, y'all gotta give me my flowers. I said this on Hood's panel 2 years ago. Y'all gotta be beware of the so-called Keisha with the grainy glasses, the natural hair, and sometimes with the septum ring. Every single last one of them had said some crazy stuff, especially the one talking about married women can't change their birth certificates to get there. Like a real critical thinking person got to think about like, why would a woman?
Why are you changing the subject from white people getting the N-word pass?
Snowman really wants.
We got to talk
because we not liberals, Snowman.
Right.
Why are you changing the subject, man?
Yo,
you see what's
see,
on the screen? It says
this is why I
N-word
wasn't
pass. We're
speaking,
talking about
because
the
it hurts
N-word
to
pass.
laugh
Hey,
right now. I
you gotta
swear to God, it
you
hurts
gotta
to
take
laugh.
that up with Torre. He's not. We don't represent Torre, Snowman. You need to go talk to
Look,
Torre.
Torre is a Steven. Torre is Steven from Django
Hey,
incarnate.
Hey, it ain't
Now,
too,
listen,
man. Too
Snowman,
many
hold
niggas.
on. I'm
A
gonna make you
nigga
a
with an
deal.
apostrophe in his name. I don't trust that nigga anyway.
Yeah, he probably got like a seashell necklace or some shit. I don't trust niggas
You know
like
you do.
that.
You know
Nah,
you
but
do.
listen, Snowman, I'm gonna make you a deal. I'm gonna make you a deal, right? You can drop the N-word as much as you like around and in and amongst black liberals.
Damn, I don't know any black liberals.
That's the only way to make it fly.
Nah, that ain't cool, dude. That ain't cool. Because black liberals aren't saying it to black liberals. Or white liberals aren't saying it to black liberals. They're saying it to black conservatives.
Oh, you gonna let these blacks
They're
tell you
saying
how
it
to
to
use the
black
word,
conservatives,
Steve?
sir. So I should be able to say it to black conservatives. That means you.
Oh, god damn it. Nah, it's not gonna fly. You see, they're fucking
If you
up the race.
support
We had a
ICE,
nice
sir,
racial
if you
detente.
support ICE, you are, in essence, Steven.
I'm just saying, we had a nice racial detente until this
Look,
this
that
coon
ain't
on
gonna
the
fly like
screen started giving out
American
N-word
Express,
passes
dog.
and shit.
Hey, dude, it's your people. You better get your people in check then, because they're handing out fucking N-word passes like the shit's candy and lollipops and stuff.
Yeah, he passing it out, man. He's passing it out.
This is a dangerous time we're living in right now. Just unfettered racism just coming from left and right.
I'm just
Like I
saying,
said,
this is your
that
people.
shit ain't
This
gonna
is your
fly
people.
like American Express.
Remember, no white person ever gave a white person an N-word pass. Ever in the history of N-word passes. Ever.
But they put this light skinned dude up here to do it. He got the pass. He dropped the pass out like it was an ace of spade, didn't he?
And I think he's probably at least 30% white with a white wife. I'm sure he ranks somewhere in white America already. Like, this is such a fucking psyop.
Hey, dude, I'm down for it.
He been drinking Starbucks for years.
Hey,
I want to see how it plays out.
This is my approach.
I'm white.
What's up, Freeman's Journal?
Yeah. This is my approach to the whole N-word thing. Like,
This is actually how I kind of start to feel about it too. Like, especially like, all right, being black and right wing, I started to notice years ago, they approach me as if I'm something like a white man in their eyes.
Hood, just say it. You know you want to. Just say it. Just say it. Just say the word. Say it. Come on. You know you want to. Just say it.
White, God damn it.
Just say it.
Wait a minute.
Say what they are.
I'm white. Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
That's why I love this clip, man, because that's what they will do, right? Just throw their lives away.
So with the liberals.
Like,
with the
go
liberals,
ahead,
they'll
bro.
throw their whole entire life away.
Yeah, I just like a long time ago, man. The only one who did that to me, right? Called me a hard R was a Mexican dude. And I was like, I wasn't even offended. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm better looking than you. I'm more educated than you. I make more money than you. You are the hard R. And he just sat there with his mouth hanging open and just walked off. This guy looked like he sold meth. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Even in the Boondocks, Mr. Ruckus, Daddy Ruckus, he told that to Uncle Ruckus. He said, "What you trying to become a Mexican? You got all these damn jobs. You just become a Mexican?"
I will be honest with you. I don't like how these white liberals are taking the purity out of racism, though, with what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Look, they're just really killing the word, right?
Yeah,
like
they really are.
Thing is, they're destroying it. Because see, what I think,
That's
from my point of
they're
view,
destroying the N-word.
Yeah.
No, they're destroying racism. The word racism.
Yeah. Well, slowly
taking
walk
the
me through
purity
this.
out of
How are they
being racist,
destroying
dude.
the N-word, Freeman?
No,
Hold on,
think
I want
about
to
it.
hear
The
Freeman
racist,
explain this to me.
being
Listen,
racist used to be
No,
a
he brought-
pure thing.
No,
Now it's
listen.
not. Now it's all muddied up and shit.
Listen, as someone who is black and right wing, like being that has always been a thing, right? I mean, I knew my politics when I was 10 years old. So to me, it's totally normal. But what I have just realized is to most other people, it's not. Black and right wing is like weird, right? And so for these liberals, right, you are destroying their worldview, right? You are warping their reality, right? Because they are a good white person because they stand for you and the Browns against those other bad white people, right? And without that social leverage, they're literally the prism, the paradigm through which they see the world dies, right?
There it is.
So if they don't have that by using the N-word, right, they're just making it equitable. So then it's nothing, right? And how many black and left of center people like, oh, that person said the N-word and this and that. Now they have to all become Tories. And now it means
You know what's
nothing.
crazy? The idea of N-word equity is actually true, relatively speaking. So, like, we have
Wait, what? Did you just say
like,
N-word
like,
equity?
think about
Yes, he did.
think,
And I
think about
understand
this.
exactly where he's going.
Well,
with it.
Freeman's Journal brought it up, and now I'm going to expand upon it because he opened a thought avenue in my mind.
The
Now,
DEI
think
of
about
the
so
N-word,
we
bro.
have yes, because like Asians have the shit they call like so we have like the Oreo thing over here, like you're white on the inside and black on the outside. They say Asians are like bananas, you know, yellow on the inside, I mean yellow on the outside, white on the inside.
Yeah, it's
What
like
do they call a
affirmative
house
N-word
nigga
action.
Mexican? I'm sure there's a term for a
Coconut.
house nigga Mexican.
Coconut, brown on the outside, white in the middle.
Bro, y'all heard coconut, but not, bro, banana, that's diabolical, bro.
I like this. We need to get this affirmative N-word action movement going.
No, because actually, I think there actually is among different ethnicities words for the people of their group who seem to identify as quote unquote white for whatever reason. And it's like, yeah, gringo adjacent shit like that. Like Mexicans probably call Mexicans gringos if they're not Mexican enough or something like that.
Oh, like the Puerto Ricans from the island called the ones NYC New Walkerians or something like that.
Or
Okay.
yeah, something like that. Like there is a weird version of that, I guess, where it's like you're not being brown enough. You're not acting your race, which is crazy when you think about it.
I see it in the Hispanic community when ones be speaking but straight Spanish and ones speak Spanglish, and the ones that speak but Spanish look at the ones that speak Spanglish like they sedity, like they better than them or something like that.
No, no. Just because I know proper English and I'm American doesn't mean I'm better than anyone. That means I just went to English class and passed the fucking.
Yes, it does,
class.
sir. It absolutely does.
No, hold on.
They're calling you
It
something
really
like a
does.
white man. That there is a hierarchy to that, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, there is. It's not about how you feel. It's about how you speaking Spanish makes them feel. And it is a statistical fact that only speaking Spanish puts a glass ceiling on your life. Period. That is
you know what though? It's interesting because if you remember,
shout out to the chat. He said the word is pocho in Spanish. It's
Pocho.
That acts white. I'm telling you, N-word equity. They have their own slurs and shit for people who are acting white or whatever.
Yeah, they don't remember. If you remember, they treated Oscar De La Hoya different than they treated Canelo Alvarez.
Oh yeah.
And both of them are kind of like white Mexicans technically.
But Canelo's from Guadalajara.
But Canelo's a damn gringo. I mean, not a gringo. He's a ginger. Canelo's ginger as hell.
They support him differently than they did Oscar. They see Oscar as American.
Bro,
it's true though. That's the wild.
That's the thing. Real Mexican isn't around skin color so much as it is also
nationality,
identity, right?
Because
what does that say about real quote unquote black, Freeman? If you can call an ice agent a house nigga, then it's not even about skin color. Now it's really about a certain type of classification. I'm just trying to figure out what the borders of it is.
Like a caste system, huh?
Like, look, my Mexican homeboy was telling me a story about his neighbor, and I must have missed part of the story because he's telling me like normal stuff, like, hey, my neighbor said he'll help me out with my lawn or whatever, and he seemed real agitated. I missed the part where his neighbor is like a bald-headed neck tattoo Mexican, right? And he's just a regular Mexican dude. So I finally got it. I was like, oh, but like it's normal among all groups. You know what I mean? Regular folks.
Yeah, all groups you gotta regulate that shit.
So every group has a nigga problem.
Everyone.
Well, not
And
even
they-
that, but that's the
Yes.
nigga phenomenon.
Yes.
Like
They do.
But here's the only, honestly, the only difference with black people is that they tend to embrace their low class, and they establish the low class as victims that need to be embraced rather than the others that need to be done away with. And we normal blacks need to start procreating and leading what is black.
Ain't that
right?
many
That's
normal
the
blacks
difference.
go Freeman?
Yes,
Because here's the
that is
argument:
correct, Freeman.
the authentic
That's
black,
normal black.
the authentic black identity is downtrodden, it's impoverished, it's oppressed, it's undereducated, it's underfunded, it lacks access, and so unless you're either championing those ideas or literally personally embodying those ideas, then somehow you become something approaching white.
Exactly. And that's why I say this one. Hold on, I got this one question. This is what I ask them. I say, can black people be victorious? Right? People who have that downtrodden image of black people, and it always vexes them. Right?
Of course
can't
they
answer
can.
it.
How many Super Bowl
Here's the
rings do black
caveat.
people
No,
hold?
here's the caveat, and this is the leftist framework, and this is why it's all suicidal. Your victory can only come if you defeat and overthrow the white man. That's the only victory.
The concept of being victorious is tied to what the white man does. That's why it vexes them, right? To say that they can be victorious means they've either overcome the white man or the white man has given them something, because that's what they try to put on other people. Oh, they let you succeed, right? The Council of White was smoking their cigars, and you're the guy who was able to get the tech job or the have a big house, right? They let
You the one.
To be honest with you,
got what,
to be
99,000.
honest with you, that is part of a strategy. It's not all of Americans fall under that strategy, but certain Americans do fall under those types of strategies, right? Those strategies can be overcome. You know what I'm saying? With due diligence, hard work, and circumstance, right? You can break those particular strategies, but it requires work that a lot of people just don't want to put in. You know what I'm saying? Most people just want to be normal, everyday, nothing people. That's all they really desire, right? Versus having to be so, just saying so high functioning, right? Because for you to break that mold, as we've experienced in some cases, brothers, I'm not sure if all of us have, but it requires a certain amount of brain function and just kind of work ethic, right? To kind of beat some of that stuff out that a lot of people just don't have, right? So
You want to know something that I've noticed about black folks as opposed to white folks when you guys talk about how black folks, roast or get on each other. When it comes to black folks, and when you guys want to like shame or condemn or put down a black person, you guys do it by saying that they're being white, or it always has to revolve around the white man. Whereas when I was growing up and a kid, when I was shamed or ostracized or whatever, or put down, it had nothing to do with the black man or the white man. It was about money. It was about how much money I had. I was poor. That's how I was shamed. It always revolved about money and status. Whereas with you guys, it seems like it all revolves around the white man.
Well,
and how white you act, or how white you don't act.
Black folk, we have a weird relationship to like money and race, I guess. Whereas like
we don't have none.
Well, I mean, a lot of black folk do have money, and we do flex wealth, but it's like it's different. Because there's this, I don't know if white folk have this phenomenon or this a relatable concept of being like hood rich, the dude in the ghetto, but he's got money, and it's like
finance bros, the finance bros.
Well, not even just that,
yeah,
but like
I mean, those same people though, those same people exist in suburban areas too. It's always somebody who's the richest person in that neighborhood, right? That just substantially changes to kind of a ghetto theme when it comes to black, which is very disappointing, right? Because at the end of the day, that shouldn't frame excellence,
Yeah, Brad and Chad in the suburbs would not really impress me. They put that whole top.
Let me connect this one dot. I'm gonna connect this one dot, and I'm gonna give it to you, Freeman. The thing I think that bothers me, what Snowman was just pointing out, is that at no level of wealth or correct behavior do you stop being white. At some point, it's almost like you elevate your whiteness with a level of wealth and proper behavior. But with black people, you stop being black with a level of wealth and correct behavior.
Correct. That's also the point I was going to make is you got shamed about money, right? But on the black side, it's still about money, right?
Yep.
Because if they know you have money, then it's an investigation of, well, how do you think?
Yep.
Will you accept this behavior? Right?
Yeah, but see,
They have to
Friedman,
know
the
it.
difference between what I'm saying is never in this circumstance where it was about money was my whiteness ever brought up. Never
Right. I
once.
understand. It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
It's
that's
not
something
the
that's
same
really
thing.
weird and ironically different to me.
Well, it's about like the money aspect for black people is it's like a legitimacy, you know? Like you've somehow escaped this thing called black because you can live in this neighborhood or this. So then it's that, like I said, that detective mission to find out what you will allow, right? How much of this niggerish behavior will you allow, and that determines how quote unquote black you are.
I mean, I guess the only thing that I could say that might be comparable to what you're saying is the only time that someone's shunned for skin is if it's like a white person who comes from a family that doesn't agree with interracial shit and say they start dating a black person. You know, if it's a female, she's gonna be a mud shark. If it's a dude, he's just a traitor. You know what I'm saying? If it's a racist family. But that's about as far as that goes. You have to literally marry out and step out. It's just weird to me. It seems like with the black culture, not being white is more important, or not being presumed as white or seen as white or having any affiliation with anything white adjacent is the most important thing to them as far as building who they are as a person within their character. And it's just crazy to me.
It makes sense. Angry Snowman, no. It makes perfect sense about the whiteness part of it, because remember, race as a concept wasn't created for white people. It was created for everybody else. You know, the word race itself comes from them racing to Africa to get slaves, bro. So race doesn't even pertain to you. It's about status within your position and your role in society, right? Versus others, it's about, you know what I'm saying, I guess somehow or another, I'm not sure exactly what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if we're trying to manipulate. I'm not sure if we're trying to help. I'm not sure what we're trying to do with the white community people. But you're right. They're always brought up in question, right? It's some comparison, you know, to us in that circumstance. And me personally, I've learned to see it as just Americans are Americans, right? You got rich Americans, you got poor Americans. The rest of this is bullshit we make up for each other, you know, for the most part. So, you know, when I see a white American, you know, say I see, okay, this is the American guy, probably has to go to work just like I do, right? Every day, do whatever, whatnot. Versus as this supreme being, you know? I just always found that to be kind of a fallacy in society that we sort of view it that way.
Pastor,
Well, I
you
wanted,
wanted to come up here. What's going on?
well, I want to disagree with what Angry Snowman was saying about white. You can be, well, white people are white no matter what their economics is. I disagree with that. Because if you a certain level of poor, you lose your white card. You trailer trash, nothing.
No, you don't, because even
Yes, you
trailer
do.
trash is still considered white trash.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
White trash is
Yeah,
still
white
considered
trash
white
is
trash,
still
sir.
the thing.
No,
Right.
y'all,
White
y'all are
trash is
flipping
still
it.
white.
Y'all are flipping and calling them white trash. I'm calling them trailer trash. White trash and trailer trash.
White trash
Trailer
and
trash
trailer
is a
trash
little
are the
bit.
same goddamn thing, sir.
No.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
absolutely are.
Pastor,
No.
Pastor, trailers are all trailers code is white. Black, you almost
No, it's
never
not,
see
because
black folks living in trailer
if
parks.
you live in, there's plenty of black people that live in trailers.
A trailer park? How many?
Lots of them. I even live. I originally lived. Look, when I was small, living in Eastern North Carolina, we all lived in trailers. But then our family grew up and got a bigger house, big house. Trailers is not synonymous with white people.
Okay,
I beg
and
to
the hood ain't
differ.
synonymous with black people because
No,
there's
it's
white
not.
people that live in the hood.
No, it's
Trailer
not.
park is
Stupid.
literally
It's
like
not.
There's
a white
white people
hood,
that live
bro.
in
What
the
do you
hood,
It's
so
not
mean?
the hood ain't
stupid.
synonymous with
It's
black
not
people, right?
stupid because there's whites, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and everything that live in the hood. You're
I'm
an
actually
idiot.
agreeing with Pastor. Go ahead, cook, Pastor.
Because see, y'all let this low IQ snowman get up here. He barely graduated from high school. He barely graduated from high school. He's a fucking idiot. He can't define nothing for white people. He's barely white himself. He's a
How the
Neanderthal,
fuck is a how is a fucking Negro going to tell a white man what white is?
You're not a white man.
You don't even know
you're
what
a trailer
black is.
trash.
You
You're
can't even
trailer
define what
trash.
black is, dude. You argue with people all over the internet of
You
what
are
real black is, and you want to tell me
trash.
what white is? Get the fuck
Yes,
out of here.
yes, you don't count. You
Pastor,
don't count.
at
If I
what
was
income level?
inquiring white people, I wouldn't ask you.
At Pastor, at what income level does a white man truly become white?
80,000 and above, and Snowman ain't there.
80K. Damn.
80K and above, and
80K
Snowman ain't there.
above. Shout out to the real white men out there. 80K and
80K.
above.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. And with this, I dress myself in cashmere.
I'm not about
It
to.
costs a lot of money to be a real white man, huh?
Yeah, yo, I'm not about to let this welfare recipient tell me about what whiteness is. Nigga, you barely count. Hey, well, I gotta go back to work and make that 80K so I can be white. God have a blessing.
All right, Pastor.
This motherfucker really think I'm on welfare. That's crazy.
Yo, he trying to out-white you right now, Snowman. You gotta get on your shit. You gonna let this nigga Pastor beat you?
See, that's what's crazy is I don't have to out-white anybody. He has to come up and try and act like he's white. I just am.
Oh, he said his whiteness just is. Motherfucker's like dark side.
He hit him with
side
the,
is.
He hit him with the I'm white.
Hey, Hood, did you do the research on that ringworm shit I brought up from fucking Minneapolis?
God damn it, I did, and it seems like there's something awful happening, and maybe it's in the water. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not fucking no hoes in the Minneapolis area. I have nothing. I don't know what's going on there, bro. The first case was confirmed July 2025. As of February 12, 26, there were 13 confirmed and 27 suspected cases. Some type of it's TMVI, a sexually transmitted fungal infection causing genital ringworms. Yeah, bro.
Oh my god.
So
Stay away from protest pussy, bro.
So Atlanta is done. Miami's halfway done.
What do you mean Atlanta isn't involved with this?
No, I'm talking about all the ST.
Atlanta is done for different reasons.
I'm talking about all the ST hotbeds. Now, Minneapolis. How did Minneapolis and Minnesota get in?
A ST fungal infection, nigga. Damn.
Yeah, hold on. I'm about to pull it up. I'm gonna draft this.
SFI. That's not even an STD. That's an SFI. What the hell?
Yeah, it's giving ringworm.
Wow. Oh, the poor day ass.
Yeah, I just typed. All I did was type new STI in Minnesota, and I got a really nasty hit. That's just ringworm.
I wonder does it have anything to do with wearing them tight ass leggings in cold weather? I wonder.
Oh, let me go back in here. Let me see what you dropped in the chats. Oh yeah, the Instagram link. All right, I got you. Shout out to KP.
Good question, Cantrell. Did they bring this from Somali? That is the $100,000 question.
We're gonna ponder that for a minute. But shout out to my man KP from KC with the 5-ball. He said, Hood, check out the link I dropped. Dude is hilarious for what he did to them. I got you right now, bro.
Oh wow.
Hi. How are you?
Fine. Can I help you?
I saw your sign out here and I just had to stop. I absolutely love it. And I just had to let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it says no human is illegal because we're on stolen land. Is that right?
Yes.
And I just love that because I'm actually trans.
What?
I'm trans indigenous. My parents' bigoted doctor assigned me white skin at birth, but I've always identified as Native American. So that sign just means a lot to me.
Okay.
So I was just wondering how much time you need to kind of pack everything up and get out of here so I can come stay the night.
Excuse me?
Yeah, well, you said no one's illegal on stolen land. You're on indigenous land. So I was just wondering how long you need to get everything together because I want to come stay the night.
No.
Well, ma'am, I'm trans indigenous, and trans indigenous people are indigenous, and you're on our land. Your sign says it.
Please leave.
Ma'am, your sign says kindness is everything, and you're not exercising it right now.
You need to leave. Right now.
So, okay, how much time do you need to pack everything up so that I can come in since you're on stolen land? You should practice what you preach and vacate right now because there is a trans indigenous man of color on your porch that wants to come inside. So are you going to do the right thing?
No. Goodbye.
I'll be waiting out here for you to pack up your stuff.
Well,
trans indigenous.
It reminds me of something.
Trans indigenous man of color is gold.
Have the Democrats gotten too liberal?
Results from that special election, that Democratic primary in the 11th district in New Jersey, speak to a larger point within the Democratic Party, and that is that the far left is significantly more powerful than they once were. This sort of gives the game away here. Democrats who identify as very liberal or conservative. You know, there used to be a lot of conservative Democrats, right? Back in 1999, 26% of Democrats self-identified as conservative. Just 5% said that they were very liberal. It was a smidgen. Now that far left has gained considerably in power. Look at this. Now we're talking about a fifth of Democrats, 21% say they're very liberal. That conservative part of the Democratic Party, adios amigos, goodbye, just 8%. And when you combine the 21% who are very liberal with those who say that they're somewhat liberal, we're talking about 3 in 5 Democrats who identify as either somewhat liberal or very liberal, with the very liberals, but much larger portion of the party. The far left, which used to just be a smidgen within the Democratic Party, has gained considerable power, as you saw in New Jersey's 11th district.
What about Democratic socialists, like the likes of, you've got Bernie Sanders and or Zoran Mandani here in New York City? Where is that lineup?
Okay, so on a separate question where you essentially, CNN asked this last year, which was, okay, Democrats who think of themselves as democratic socialists, among all Democrats, including those independents who lean towards the Democratic Party. Look at this. We're talking about a third of all Democrats who identify as democratic socialists. Bernie Sanders and Zoran Mandani are not alone. They are a considerable part of the Democratic base at this point. And more than that, if you look at Democrats under the age of 35, they are nearly half of the Democratic Party. Look at this. 42% of Democrats think of themselves as democratic socialists under the age of 35, just like Zoran Mandani. What happened in New York City is not some aberration, right? It is not something that just happened in New York City. It is something that we are seeing grow within the Democratic Party at this particular point when we're talking about 42% of Democrats under the age of 35 identifying as democratic socialists, and a third of all Democrats. My goodness gracious.
So if
that's an alarmingly high rate.
So are the Democrats too liberal?
Yes, I'm about to throw up. I'm about to vomit.
I don't even think you can call this liberal.
But no. It's the internet, man. It's these extreme ideas that people are so easily manipulated, bro, by these folks. They are just stupid. It just only thing it points out to me is how many stupid people we have in society. Now we can start putting a number on it, right?
And just remember, they want all these stupid people to be able to vote.
It's 92%.
If you can't figure out how to get an ID, you don't have no business voting.
Look, it's 92%. Remember that number. Always remember that number. 92% people. 92%. Yo, we ain't gonna make it. I just see they literally got socialists on the screen right there.
No, I'm serious. Think about this for a second, sir. They're literally arguing that there are people that are incapable and don't have the ability or the fucking mental fortitude to be able to go out and get an ID. But yet these same people are supposed to be intelligent, educated, and knowledgeable enough to vote on issues that are going to affect the entire country, but yet they can't figure out how to get an ID.
No,
that does not bother you.
Yeah, that bothers me. No, I one up you on Mr. White Man. These are the same people that say that you don't have to show voter ID to go ahead and to do the same thing you just said about voicing your opinion about who runs this country. But wasn't not about 5 or 6 years or 7? Damn, it's been that long now. 6 or 7 years ago, when these same people said you couldn't go into a store, you couldn't do anything unless you had your vaccine, your papers. Yeah. Yeah, these people. Yeah. I passed the mic. I'm just in shock over here. I am.
I mean,
I need to hit the blunt.
Say what you want to say about, because I believe the MAGA extremists are fucking idiots too, right? But say what you want to say about them. But one thing about the reset button is that it makes sense. For at least the modern man, at least one thing about Republicans, it is about the fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So at least you can depend on that. With them, they was, man, I mean, let's just keep it real. The boys already wearing dresses around here. Your tax rates are going through the roof because you're funding all this extra shit. You know, that you hate around you. You're literally funding the shit you hate. And it's just like, you know, they just don't understand that part of it because everybody's so busy trying to get free shit. It's wild to me how stupid people are, man.
We in idiocracy. We in idiocracy times. Take it as you.
The ideology of the Democratic Party is shifting or changing. How are people feeling about it?
Okay, so we're talking about the Democratic base, right? But what about all Americans, right? How about all voters? Voters who say the Democrats are now too liberal. Look at this percentage. It was 42% in 96, 48% in 2013. Now 58% in 2025 of all voters say that the Democratic Party is too liberal. The Democrats are moving to the left. The far left is gaining power, and there could be some electoral repercussions because what we see right now is voters, the clear majority, say that they are too liberal.
This is really interesting. Thanks so much, Harry.
Thank you.
So it looks like the Democrats are gone too far for everybody now. But it's been a fun show. We're gonna wrap this one up. I gotta go lay back down for a little while. I tell you, I got out.
Just remember, white people. White people. No, wait, before you end it. White people. Now, not only Trump said you could do whatever you want, but as long as you switch your party to liberal, liberal said you can do whatever you want. Take that to the bank.
I don't know how that squares, but whatever, Snowman.
Yeah, whatever.
We gotta end this, man. We gotta put this to bed, man. You guys are gonna get
white
Snowman in
supremacy.
trouble.
It squares as white supremacy 2026, sir. That's how it squares. White supremacy 2026.
Shout out to Snowman. Don't use the N-word pass too much, man. You know, like a nigga with a new gun. I'm trying to tell you.
I only said it once when I first came up, bro. I respected your panel. I used N-word afterwards because I realized I wasn't going to be the only one on the panel using the N-word all the way out. All you guys saying N-word and me up here actually dropping the N-bomb. That's kind of crazy.
It would have been crazy if a bunch of white guys came up and started using their white privilege. Anyway, let's go. Let's end this now before it gets weird. Now, I will check you guys on the next one. I got to get out of here, man. Thank you so much for coming out. Please hit that like button on your way out of the door. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, but we are done with this.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.